Greetings and welcome to episode 211 of the Words About Gamescast, the weekly video game podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, and I'm joined this week by Hot Tuner himself, the glorious one, the champ.
The champ is here.
Mr. Daffin.
Hey.
Hot Tuner. The Hot Tuner joke won't make any sense because it's from a video that has been lost to the fickle mistress that is my hard drive. Rest in peace, EA player.
I blame me, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
I think they got into my hard drive and they were just like...
We were so positive.
I was
so positive.
I was
hope
positive.
You can see the sarcasm in the corner somewhere.
I was positive, and I was also negative. I was both.
I was pretty negative.
Yeah, that's
Very
true.
negative.
That's true.
You
held it all the way back until the very end.
Oh yeah, that thing really annoyed me. It was like the stupidest thing ever.
Well, we might have a chance to talk about it later. And the new podcast format does incorporate video game announcements too.
Moody Rage, yes.
Moody Rage. I'll think of a better theme song. I'm not very good at making music because this isn't a music podcast. This is the Words About Gamescast, where every single week we discuss what's been going on in gaming, the games industry, and gaming culture over the past 7 days before we take a little bit of a look into the future. In this week's episode, we discuss the news, including Warner Bros. Interactive being put up for sale, the final staggering total of itch.io's bundle for racial justice and equality, PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan discussing pricing around the upcoming PS5, and more. Then we'll go over all the new game announcements, release dates, and delays that happened over the past week. Give asterisks on the all the ones I can find. All right, there's been a lot. Right, just chill. If I miss one. What else do? We give you a content drop where we recommend some articles you should read and videos you should watch. Tell you what games are coming out over the next 7 days before playing OpenCritic Head to Head, where we guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. As always, we'll wrap the show up with a post-show discussion to chat about whatever's on our mind. Spoiler alert, I know it's on my mind, I know it's on Moody's mind. It's The Last of Us. Sorry, there will be no spoilers in this podcast.
I've never heard of the game, I'm sorry.
Timestamps are in the description below the video on YouTube, so you can watch this podcast in any order you want. You can just watch certain sections, or you can watch the whole thing backwards. We don't mind. We're just happy that you're here.
As always.
Normal podcast again, this after last week's game extravaganza.
Yeah, back to the norm.
Back to normal. And you know what? Even with 2 weeks worth of news, Moody, it's a slow news fortnight.
Yeah, because the first one, the main topic, that dropped the day on the day we finished.
Yeah.
Because we recorded earlier last week.
Yeah.
On the Sunday. Normally we record at 8 o'clock at night. But it dropped like an hour or two after, and I was thinking, are you kidding me?
Yeah, we would have saved it for this week anyway, because we didn't have
the full time.
We were talking about games, just all of the games, everywhere. We talked about so many games. It was the longest podcast we've done this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens.
I won't lie, because I feel like I've been shortening since I've come on. I feel like they've been shortening it like a little bit, because you normally do go like around 2 hours normally. No, when I always noticed.
Last year it was between an hour and a half, like easily, and it was usually on the lower end. So you'd say like an hour 10, maybe an hour 15. Since you've come on, it's an hour 30, an hour 45. Like last week's was 2 hours, just over 2 hours.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got to talk.
I'm pretty sure that was the podcast I pointed out to you because I was looking across at my channel and it was weird because it was 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 2 seconds.
Yeah. That was a weird one.
But yeah, so that I've just closed all the show notes. I can't function without show notes.
I can understand that.
I used to do this podcast where I used to have links. And I'd click on the links and open the websites, and then it would always be awkward because the website wouldn't load properly, and I'd have to accept the cookies, and then the advert would autoplay, and it would be at full volume. And
That's an annoying thing. That's understandable.
And then I just went, fuck you. I'm just going to copy paste your stupid fucking bullshit article in my stupid fucking bullshit document. And then it took me probably another 25 episodes to realize I could share this with everybody. So they can see it too. It's a long podcasts are a process. Podcasts are just a process. It's like they're never finished. Like
That's true.
There's always tweaking it. You're always changing stuff, making this a little bit better, making that a little bit better. Couple of bits of housekeeping, I guess, before we start. Number one, myself and Moody will be doing a Last of Us Part 2 spoiler discussion. That might actually be our longest podcast of the year, potentially, by margins. That'll be going up on Thursday. The EA Play impressions, as we mentioned at the top of the show, that disappeared. That's no good. That the video doesn't work anymore.
Burnt it.
Yeah, burnt it. So sorry about that. But to be fair, it wasn't a very noteworthy discussion. It wasn't a very noteworthy presentation. So I don't think we're really missing too much. Otherwise, I would have called you up and we would have done it again if it was important. But I don't think it was that important. Not with bothering you and me while we're both trying to play The Last of Us. Important.
Yeah, I don't even know if you might have got in contact with me because I'm pretty sure I had my phone off or I had my internet off on my phone.
Nice.
So I don't think you would have got in contact with me.
What else was there? Yes, there will be game previews going up all this week and all next week. You might have noticed a few of them go up at the end of last week. I've played and talked about a lot of games from the Steam Summer Game Festival, but I also don't want to overwhelm anyone's YouTube timeline. So they'll be going out 1 or 2 per day. And I have a lot. So it's probably going to be a week, 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. Those previews are going to be coming out. Keep an eye out for them. I've played some really cool games that even I'd never heard of before.
That's awesome. You're doing God's work, Amy.
I mean, I don't know if I'm doing God's work, because I feel like if I was doing God's work, I'd start coming out in all these weird blisters and burns everywhere. Like, the Lord and I don't really see eye to eye.
What do you think I mean here?
The Lord and I don't really see eye to eye. At least that's the impression I get from the people who are giving out the God flyers in when we used to go out into cities.
Well, I don't know what cities are. I feel like me and The Last of Us really connected. Just that's because of how we are right now. I haven't been in a city for a long time.
When you see people coming towards you, you have to run away really fast. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. They give me funny looks, and some of the conversations we've had have been very interesting. But then, yeah.
I'll just say they're small-minded idiots.
Yeah. Lastly, there's a lot of stuff been coming out over the weekend, and probably just before the weekend. A lot of people have been calling out abuse from Twitch people. Yeah, from Twitch streamers, from YouTubers, from people in the video game industry. And I guess our stance on this, or like the message we want to put out, is we believe the people who are abused. We stand with them, and let's root out abusers and throw them in the bin, and then set the bin on fire, and then throw that bin into one of those bigger bins that gets picked up by one of those arms, and then crushed into a really small cube, and then we can set that cube on fire, put it in a big cannon, fire it,
and put that on fire,
fire it into a space shuttle, launch the space shuttle into the sun, and then it'll all burn up, and then.
Yeah, I've seen a lot, I've read a lot, and I think it's disgusting. And anyone who's just trying to defend it, it's just like you lose the argument instantly, guys and ladies and gentlemen, and everything. You lose the argument instantly. One of the things that I think the hashtag Black Lives Matter movement, I think opened a lot of people's eyes was listen to these people. Their story matters, and it's important to listen to it.
Yeah.
So do the right thing. Listen to it.
I agree.
That's all that matters.
I think the protests and and everything like that. I think it woke some people up, like not necessarily like people who just didn't know anything about this, but in terms of people who would notice it and then kind of get on with their day. Like they would look at it, they would read it, they would go, "Well, that's shit," and then they get on with their day. Whereas now, I've noticed a lot more people are actually speaking up and calling shit out for what it is. It's shit. And yeah, like my rambling, joking monologue aside, that kind of got away from me at the beginning there. Like, yeah, in all seriousness, like, yeah, 100%. And 100% stand with these people who've been abused. Fuck the abusers. If you want to defend that shit, fuck off.
Yeah. You
Simple.
got no place here at all.
No.
We will do. We were like what I said on the end of on the Corrupted podcast last week on the AE thing. I said about we will listen to the people who deserve to be listened to. We will fight for those people and help them in any way we can. We are people for justice, and that's what we want.
Absolutely.
And that's what all those people want. So
my DMs are always open for anyone that needs to talk about anything, or even just vent.
Mm-hmm. I want to give a shout out to Miss Julie Harley, who's a host and a commentator.
Like Julia
who's worked with
on Xbox.
She's absolutely fantastic lady. She did a stream this morning, just talking about mental health and about abuse and everything like that, and like helping for people who are going through hard things during the pandemic. Because yes, ladies, and we are still in a pandemic situation with all these crazy things that are happening that need to happen and everything. And she's trying to help her way in it, just helping a little bit as she can. And I chatted just a little bit. It was more there. I wanted to hear the people. I wanted to listen to them and help in any way if I can. And I'm going to be playing with one of them next week on Sea of Thieves. So I've already planned that with somebody, and we're going to have a good conversation, we'll have a good talk and everything. And just this person's going off what they said. It was like they feel really, really lonely, and they need someone. And I was just like, game now. You want a game? Hit me up. I will play the game. If I have it, I will play it. And thank you, Game Pass. I have it. Just got to install it again.
You're doing great work. And I want actually before I make the obvious jokey statement that I was going to make, because it's Sea of Thieves, like that's really awesome. And I just want to like take a moment to recognize the fact that you're doing something like that, because that's amazing. And obviously, of course, I'm doubly happy because not only are you really like stepping up, but you're also playing Sea of Thieves again.
Well, someone who has been saying that it's pretty good.
Who's been that? Who's been constantly saying that?
It might be in the title of their competition.
Might be their fantasy.
But I don't know who that person is.
Fantasy Game Critic League team name. I don't know. Sea of Thieves is good, actually. I don't know. That sounds familiar for some reason.
All I know, this random person called Snakehead is leading now. That's all I know.
We'll get to that in the in another video that we're hoping to put out this week. It's gonna be a busy week, isn't it? Really, fucking hell.
Possibly, yeah.
Let's dive into the news, though.
Let's go.
There's not that much, so I don't think I don't think this is going to take too long. We might have a very nice long post-show discussion about The Last of Us and She-Ra, because I also finished that.
She-Ra!
News number 1. AT&T puts Warner Brothers Interactive up for sale. This is from Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer, who writes, Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment is reportedly up for sale. As reported by CNBC, parent company AT&T, which acquired Warner Brothers in 2018, is looking to offload its gaming division for about $4 billion, or £3.1 billion, in a deal that may include a commercial licensing agreement where AT&T can continue to get revenue from its IP, such as Lego and Harry Potter. CNBC purports anonymous sources familiar with the matter, but asked not to be named because the discussions are private, have revealed Take-Two, Electronic Arts, and Activision Blizzard have all expressed an interest, but apparently there is no imminent deal as yet. The deal will likely see WB Interactive studios like NetherRealm, Rocksteady, and TT Games change hands once again as AT&T fights to reduce its $165 billion debts. which is 131 billion pounds. Yeah, at the time of writing, both Warner Brothers and AT&T have declined press requests for comment. Warner Brothers Interactive. We're wondering what's been going on with them all summer.
Yeah, I think it's also fair to say, I don't know the exact date, but Warner Brothers DC are having an event soon. I think it's August, is it?
There's going to be a DC game.
Yeah, and they're going to be talking about the developers they have and everything like that, and obviously completely different thing. But Zack Snyder's come out and basically said there's a trailer coming for the Snyder Cut.
For the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
I saw the I saw the clip.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm gonna milk this. You're not gonna forget me now, and everything. But that's different,
bitches.
Over time, ladies and gentlemen. This was bonkers when I saw this. I was thinking, wow, damn, I didn't think they were going to do this, but it's good. They're just changing direction. AT&T are taking Warner Brothers in a different direction, and the video games developers they have, clearly for them, are not making enough money for them, and they're costing too much for them to warrant them owning them, and that's their decision. It's now just curious who's going to buy them and everything. I won't lie. That comes on
top of. Sorry, sorry to break your flow. Just on top of.
No, it's all right.
On top of what you were just saying about the DC, because I was trying to find out when the DC online event was. Didn't find it, but I did find out that the Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights game websites have been registered today.
Oh.
I don't know if they were registered today, but they've just found the registers for Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's intriguing.
So, take with that what you will. Sorry, you were saying.
I know. Go back to what I was saying. Going off the list that was read out, Take-Two, Electronic EA, and Activision and Blizzard. That's
the
not
triumvirate of evil.
Yeah, the holy trinity, of
the unholy trinity.
God, damn, you would the unholy trinity. Yeah, the unholy trinity of you would not want them to be bought by.
The DC fandom will take place on the 22nd of August.
Long way away still, but yeah, you're finally gonna get something, ladies and gentlemen. You might finally get that Batman game that I don't want at all.
I saw someone say, "Oh, maybe they'll reveal Harry Potter," and I was like, "Dude, come on." Yeah, they're gonna reveal the next Harry Potter game at the DC fandom.
Maybe he's turned into a superhero. Maybe. Who knows? But we don't talk about Harry Potter, ladies and gentlemen. He's not on this conversation today. Obviously, a lot of people, I think, could Microsoft go in for this? Because they are very wealthy. They could go in and buy all of them up and everything. And everyone's like saying, "Oh my God, they're going to get Batman and everything like that." No, they won't, ladies and gentlemen. Put that right on the back burner. They wouldn't buy them unless they agreed a licensing deal with them, which is what Warner Brothers did.
You'll never have a Batman. If Gotham Knights is the next Batman game, let's say for the sake of argument, that would never be an Xbox exclusive. Even if Microsoft bought Warner Brothers Interactive, what they would get is like when they bought Outer World, Obsidian Entertainment, Outer World was still multi-platform. When they bought Mahjong, Minecraft is still multi-platform because it doesn't make sense to keep those games just on one system. But what Microsoft would get if they bought them is a lot of incredibly talented video game studios.
Yeah,
Rockstar
and development studios that, given the chance, could create some amazing new IPs. NetherRealm, known for their fighting game, they created a new full IP for them. For exclusive to Xbox, that would be amazing. Rocksteady, maybe get the licensing deal, maybe still do Batman. Oh God, but whatever. or create their own new superhero in their own world or something like that. They could really do a lot of great things. In TT Games, the Lego franchise, yes, they would lose all the licensing parts to that unless the agreement was made again. Gears of War Lego game. I would go, yes, please, actually. And I'm not a Gears fan, ladies and gentlemen. You're talking to the one guy who really is not the biggest fan of Gears. out there who, out of most of all my friends who I speak to, oh, geez, it's really good. No, it didn't work for me. And everything like that. But in a Lego form, that would be pretty good, dope.
Okay,
What are your
I can
thoughts
see
on
that.
this, Ian?
I don't know. I mean, it is a question of who has the resources to jump in and buy. Because I mean, you're talking a $4 billion deal, right? So it's like, well, who the hell can throw around $4 billion? Activision Blizzard certainly can. Take-Two certainly can. Electronic Arts certainly can. Please, God, no. Like, of the three companies there, Electronic Arts is the least bad option, I feel like. For me personally, of everything that I've seen and read and seen happen over the games industry over the past 5 years of doing podcasts and whatnot, like, I guess if it's just those three, then I guess EA can.
I understand where you're coming from with that. Yeah, they won't go on for Take-Two and Activision Blizzard. They are very shady in very lot of ways. Electronic Arts, they are shady as well, but mostly just when it comes to going off what you can correct me right here, mostly just because of their microtransactions. If there's any other things,
Yeah, I mean, there's the usual capitalist nonsense
Yeah.
of like CEOs and whatnot, but yeah, it's mostly their microtransactions and like, and there's the way they treat IP, the way they treat new games, like Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to be released on the third generation of consoles, you know, that kind of thing, instead of like a new Rockstar game. And microtransactions is a big one.
So, obviously, I've thrown out Microsoft. I think it's fair to say I've checked the net worth and everything for them. If they wanted to, Sony could go in for them.
I don't see Sony.
I don't see them doing it.
No, I don't see Sony wanting to do it.
They just spent like what 200 million or something plus for Insomniac Games, and yeah, I don't think they would want to do this type of deal. I think if they had more capital in the realm of Microsoft, I think they definitely would. But no, they don't have there's bigger war chests of what Microsoft have. They don't have that.
Plus, I think they're just happy with. I think they'd be happy with what they've got, right? Like in terms of their stable of developers. Like they're creating The Last of Us Part 2 and God of War and stuff on that level where it's like that's on a completely different level. It's like I don't see PlayStation wanting to add however many studios it is, like 5, 6, 7 studios. Which most of them are top tier, don't get me wrong. But
yeah.
I mean they are like one of the biggest companies in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's because it's not just PlayStation, right? It's Sony. Like when people think PlayStation couldn't afford it, well, PlayStation probably couldn't afford it. You're absolutely right, but Sony could definitely afford it.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, then what about Epic?
They have the Fortnite money.
They have the Fortnite money. They could probably do this if they wanted to.
It depends, right? Like. They probably could do it if they wanted to, but I think the way they're supporting other developers in the industry is like they're driving in a different direction. You know what I mean? So they're sort of instead of using that money to buy developers to make games for that, like to develop games that they could publish. Instead, what they're doing is they're funding indie game development, funding smaller game development, and running a storefront. I don't see them buying a massive publisher. Like maybe buying some indie studios at some point, but a massive publisher, I don't see Epic. And again, it's like the PlayStation thing. It's like they could, but I don't see them wanting to.
Okay, so I've literally just thought of this one because they do have a games company. They do games or starting to do games. That's Amazon.
Yeah, they could do
Amazon,
with
I could
it.
see do that. I could see Amazon. They have the money. They could pay the $4 billion off, and they'd be fine.
Yeah, in a day. Amazon are the ones who would benefit, I think, quite bigly, because that's the word. Yeah, sure, why not? Quite bigly from doing this. Because I mean, they just released a game. No one knows about it because it crashed and burned almost immediately. But they did release a game. They've got one more MMO. And they've struggled to get going because they've been trying to get going in the games industry actually for a few years now. Projects keep getting cancelled and developers keep leaving studios and stuff. Like, if Amazon wanted to make a serious move into the games industry, like, not just moving around the outside with games like Crucible and New World, which, fair enough, whatever. Those games, I'm sure they're, like, good enough games. I don't know anything about either of them, but because they're not my kind of thing. But, like, if they wanted to make a big impact, why not buy WB Interactive and get Rocksteady and NetherRealm and Monolith and TT Games? Like, yeah. Like, and they could afford it, for sure.
Like, Warner Brothers Interactive could literally just be changed to Amazon Interactive.
Amazon Interactive, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And everything.
Everyone seems to be skipping out of Tencent, which is the one that I want to throw in the ring. They're the company that owns Riot Games. They are the biggest in terms of revenue. They're the biggest video game publisher in the world, and they own like small shares in companies like Epic Games, as well as just doing their own thing and having their own studios. Tencent could easily do it if they want to.
Yeah.
Bring in that sort of prestige AAA publishing arm and do it themselves. It's whether they want to do that or not, because I don't really know. Like, I don't really know all that much about Tencent behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Whereas I can fairly confidently say that I don't think PlayStation would want to do this. Like, I wouldn't know which direction Tencent would want to go in.
I've got one more, and this one, I think, will get an audible groan from you.
I got a couple more. Yeah, Google crossed my mind as well.
Google want IP. They want people to come to have a reason to play games on Stadia. And if they have these with creating new IPs and everything like that, yes, it'll take a few years still. It all really depends if Google are sticking with Stadia. Or like I say, a lot of people believe that's going to crash and burn. Truly, and be gone in the next couple of years, if not 5 years max. That's what a lot of people truly believe because of how disastrous that launch has been for them. But they're still one of the biggest companies in the world. Yeah, 100%. That's the thing.
I think if Google did buy it, I don't think they would be stupid enough to make games. Like, they might have bleeding edge level games, exclusive. Like, say a smaller development team at TT Games makes a smaller project, and that might be a Stadia exclusive. But I gotta believe Google wouldn't be stupid enough to buy WB Interactive and go, okay, cool, Rocksteady, your next game after Gotham Knights is going to be a Stadia exclusive. Because I don't know how many people that would drive to the platform. Because again, there's an issue. The issue of Stadia isn't just the fact that it's another platform people have to buy into. It is that some people just simply can't. Like, their internet isn't good enough. I've got a freaking 30 odd megabit per second internet connection. You all saw the Google Stadia video. I mean, trying to play Google Stadia, it was a nightmare. But yeah, I mean,
if you had a 400 megabit one, it'd be fine.
That's where I went wrong. If only I lived near a major city and had a £100 a month internet connection. Why didn't I think of that? Moody, continue this podcast. I'm just going to quickly move house so I can play Google Stadia. Like, fucking Stadia fanboys, honestly. Yes.
I completely derailed you there. I apologize.
In your well, no, I said pretty much what I wanted to say. In the same vein as what you were just talking about, Apple could do it.
Yeah.
If they wanted to publish it, I don't think they will, but I think it's worth throwing out that they definitely could. Google.
They could write a $4 billion check, and it would be like in terms of like a million just for us.
Yeah, I think once you get below that, like just looking at revenue of like the companies that are generating, I think once you get below that sort of EA line, like I don't know if it would be worth the investment for most companies. Like Nintendo's on the 3.6 billion revenue, and it's like, would they want to take that gamble, even if they were interested? Not that Nintendo would never do it, but after that you get like Bandai Namco and Nexon, ironically Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. the 14th biggest publisher in the world. In terms of revenue.
The only other ones I can see doing it, if they wanted to, I could see Universal maybe trying it. Get a games company, have create IPs from their film libraries and IPs they own. I could see them doing that. They lost the battle to try and get Fox from Disney. They have the capital, they have the money to do this quite easily, and everything.
Yeah, of course.
Just
I mean, there is value in broadening the scope and not just looking at like, here are people who are already embedded in the games industry, or people who are trying to be embedded in the games industry, and it's like there's plenty of other companies that could start their own game business, because this is what it is. It's like, for a company like Universal, buying Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment would be like a shortcut to build your own games publisher.
Yeah, it would be very good. And they just took the Lego IP from Warner Brothers. So they already have a little bit of a negotiation on the table with them if they wanted to maybe add a little bit extra or something like that.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine asked me, what about Disney? Disney don't want a games company. They literally closed down the Lucasfilm game company to not do this, so they ain't going to do this. And they just spent half their net worth last year, which they're still trying to recoup.
Let me tell you something, Mooney. The day that happened, they shut down LucasFilm. LucasArts, sorry. LucasArts, publishers of absolute classics, absolute fucking bangers of video games, cancelled Star Wars 1313, one of my most anticipated games of whatever year that happened. And I just said it, plain and simple, on social media. I said, fuck you, Disney. Not realizing how many Disney super fans I have following me on Facebook and Twitter, who don't know anything about video games and were just like, yo, what the fuck? How dare you? And I was just like, yeah, I said it. Fuck Disney.
No offense, I bet a lot of those people, after what's happened with Star Wars in this social media spectrum, a lot of people are saying that. Oh, your friend. No
Fuck Disney.
I bet some of them are. And everything.
Disney!
This is going to be a very intriguing take. This is going to be very intriguing.
They could buy themselves. Potentially. They're one of the biggest game publishers on the planet.
They could ask to separate, yeah.
It's not
create a deal. Do what Bungie did with Activision. They could do that.
Bungie did it with Activision. IO Interactive did it with Square Enix. They could go independent and buy themselves.
Yeah.
They've probably got the capital.
Yeah, see if they can keep the licensing deal, maybe. Because that's what Warner Brothers want to do, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they want to do.
I think what AT&T want to do is they want
to throw out the license for everybody.
I think they would be fine with Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment keeping the licenses to make games like Gotham Knights, as long as they saw profit from it. So as long as they saw some of the revenue, I think they'd be okay with it. I think that would be a part of any deal, regardless of whether they go independent or someone like Electronic Arts buys them. But yeah, I think it's a strong possibility that they could just go it on their own. They're already making money, as a publisher, and they could just strike out independent of AT&T. So I guess we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Good luck to them.
Yeah,
good luck to them. If whatever happens, it's going to be an interesting thing. Like I say, this will be a recurring story for whenever we find out who's bought them or whatever happens, I guess. So
yeah, we'll be talking about this for a while, I imagine. It's summer movie. Nothing happens in the summer.
That's true. That's true.
So we'll be keeping a very close eye on this one. Next up, however, I always want to call it Itch.io because that's what everybody calls it. Itch.io bundle for racial justice and equality finishes with $8.1 million raised. This is from Matthew Handrahan over at gamesindustry.biz, who writes, the Itch.io bundle for racial justice and equality has raised more than $8.1 million for charities related to the Black Lives Matter movement. The bundle was on sale for 10 days, in which it was purchased by around 810,000 people for an average price of $10. Wow, that's It's not often I get called average, Moody. But I've been called out in this article. The $8.1 million raise represented 163% of its $5 million target. While the amount raised is huge, the bundle was also notable for what it contained. 1,704 games from 1,361 individual creators, which could be purchased for as little as $5. That included many high-profile independent titles, including Night in the Woods and Overland from Fiji, Matt Makes Games' Celeste, and Laundry Bear Games' A Mortician's Tale. Quote, "We live in a time of racial injustice, inequality, and police brutality against black people," Itch.io said in a statement. "We hope that everyone takes a stand in any way they can." End quote. This is one of the largest donations made by the games industry in support of Black Lives Matter since the death of George Floyd at the hands of Minnesota police on May 25th. This was only on sale for 10 days. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's other things to take away from this that are more important, but I can't believe it was only 10 days.
Well, I think the simplest and best compliment here is just...
Yeah, definitely. Like,
well done.
Fucking well done. Well done, Itch.io, stepped up.
Brilliant.
Well done to 1,361 developers for putting so many games into this. And well done for everyone going out and buying it.
Yeah.
$8.1 million raised, when considering the minimum you could put down was $5. And it reached 8.1 million.
1,704 games.
Yeah.
You get just put $5 down.
You buy Celeste for $5, and it's a good deal. Like,
that's a game that should be a $60 game.
Yeah.
That's how great that game is.
It was fantastic. I bought it. I haven't had a dig around in it yet at all.
Neither have I. I bought it as well. My thing is, I'm waiting for October for a better PC.
You don't have a PC, which is fair enough, right? Like, I haven't dug around in it. Why not? Because I think my computer would sound like my PlayStation 4 trying to play The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
But this is amazing. This is fantastic. I love it. I've loved Itch.io as a platform for so long, and it's nice to see them like. It's not obviously like the big thing is it's raised so much money for Black Lives Matter charities, causes, and fundraisers, but it's also just nice to see Itch.io like blow up and get people's attention because they really are a fantastic storefront, I guess you could call them. So wins all round, Moody. Wins all round.
And with the crazy year we've had, wins we need.
We need all the wins we can get.
Well done. Well done to all of them. Congrats. This is fantastic.
Absolutely agreed.
Let's move on to the thing you most definitely want to talk about, Amy. Pricing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot. It was the other night when we were playing Apex and I just fucking went off. If one more person asks me about fucking PlayStation 5's price. Oh, well, here we are again. PlayStation's boss has reiterated he feels value is more important than price for PS5. This is from Andy Robinson over at Video Games Chronicle, who writes, PlayStation has again emphasized value over price when discussing the PS5's price point. While video game sales have actually increased during the coronavirus pandemic, the long-term implications for the industry are less certain, and many consumers may not be in a position to afford new hardware when it launches this holiday season. This is a situation PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan acknowledged last month, stating that the best thing it could do to address the economic situation was to offer the best possible value proposition, but not necessarily the lowest price. What? Well, we're going to get into it later. Speaking in a new interview with the BBC, Ryan again emphasized value over price in relation to PlayStation 5. Quote, "Conventional wisdom and history show that our business is one of the more recession-proof businesses. But I think this will sharpen our need to ensure that we focus on getting the value equation right. Excuse me. And I emphasize value as opposed to price. We must be more attentive than ever before to ensure that the overall value proposition in terms of the console and games, the range of games, the quality of games, the quantity of games, makes this something that our community aspires towards." End quote. Sony introduced a second digital-only PlayStation 5 console at their reveal event, which sacrifices its Blu-ray disc drive likely for a lower price point. However, when asked about the motivation behind Digital Edition, Ryan would not commit to a difference in cost. Quote, "You're not going to hear anything on price today, but many of our consumers are purchasing solely digitally these days. We thought that we would do what we typically try and do and just offer choice." End quote. According to a Bloomberg report in mid-May, Sony plans to produce far fewer PlayStation 5 launch units compared to PS4 due to an expected hit on demand caused by the console's high price. The publication had previously claimed Sony was struggling to determine the PlayStation 5 price due to a shortage of components which have resulted in increased manufacturing costs. Earlier last week, retailer Amazon claimed that a PlayStation 5 listing with a £599 price point was, quote, "an error," end quote. Price.
The thing is, that is, along with the date, those are the big main things really for everybody that they want to know. This thing could literally be a gold brick, and they would still just care what's the date and price.
Well, one of the consoles is coming out on November 19th. You can put that in the fucking... You can take that to the bank. We'll talk about that later on.
It's interesting, there's no doubt about, especially with the article that you shared in our chat, with the rumors of what Xbox are planning for. Rumors. So take with a huge
which aren't
pinch of salt.
Because, I took them with like 2 handfuls of salt. So I didn't put them in. But the rumor is that Lockhart, which is the long fabled second SKU that Xbox are going to launch alongside the Xbox Series X, the rumors is that that's going to be half the price of the Series X. That was the rumor.
Yeah, but the price of Series X, apparently, going off what it says, is going to be $400.
Yeah.
So that's $200 for the Lockhart, if that is true.
If all of that is true, that would be nuts.
That is nuts.
Here's the thing about Xbox, and I know this is a PlayStation topic, and we will get back to PlayStation, because there's some choice language in what Jim Ryan was saying that I want to highlight, if nothing else. Xbox have set themselves up for the entirety of the past, 5 years, to be driven by subscriptions, more so than PlayStation. Xbox Live Gold, Game Pass Ultimate, xCloud. However they execute all of that in the next generation, we'll find out in July probably. They are in a better position to take a loss on a console than PlayStation because of recurrent consumer spending. I know I hate using buzzwords, but what are you gonna do? So them being able to sell Xbox at a loss, makes perfect sense. PlayStation could sell PS5 at a loss quite easily. Again, because of both PS Plus, the probable user base of the PS5, which I think is gonna, by the time the PS5 generation is over, is gonna have outsold PS4, and the fact that their fan base is more committed to buying their exclusives, or to buying their exclusive games, more so than Xbox fans are to buying Gears 5 or Halo.
They're like Nintendo fans. They go all in when it comes to exclusive.
I mean, they're like Nintendo fans. There's nothing when you see 50% attach rates for games on Nintendo side, and you just sort of sit there and go, "What the fuck?" But there is their exclusives sell really well. Both of these companies could take a loss on these consoles easily, depending on where they want to position themselves in the market come November. For sure. What do you think?
I said last week that I believe the price for the PlayStation 5 will be $399 digital, $499 for the disc. I stand by that.
Dollars. Just so
dollars.
Clear.
Yeah, dollars. And the Xbox, I believe, was going to be $499.
Yeah.
I don't know if I stand by that. Just because if that thing happens, if July comes out and they completely, literally do what PlayStation have just done with their reveal event, blow us away, and then literally just might drop us at the end, lock out, boom, 200 thing, 400, or 399, 199, or whatever, that'll be the price. You'd be like,
God, you said 199, and I'm just like, fuck me. Could you imagine?
Yeah, you'd be like, what the hell?
I would be freaking out, big style. In a good way. In a good way. It would be amazing. Yeah. I think do you think, so we've had these rumors about the Xbox price, right? Do you think PlayStation already heard about those rumors before we did, and this is what's fueling them to not reveal because the other rumor, the other side of this whole console generation rumor is PlayStation are waiting for Xbox to reveal their price. Do you think PlayStation heard this much earlier than we did, and that's why they're waiting? Because they're like, they can't be serious. This can't be coming out for $400 and $200. They can't be serious. We need to wait, because if we come out and say $500, and then Series X, which is the more powerful of the two consoles, according to the two specifications, it comes out and it's cheaper, it's like, oh shit, we fucked it. Because once you announce that price, you can't take it back.
Mm-hmm. It's literally the Sega Nintendo battle in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, from the console war book, audible book I read and listened to. It's that, and like, and even them then, Sega knew what the price for the new Nintendo was going to be then, months before it was revealed and everything. So they already knew. So going off that, I literally do believe PlayStation know the price of the Xbox, and if it's what we believe, the rumors are saying it could be, and PlayStation believe that. Like the thing, what makes sparks even more, because PlayStation have come out and admitted they are waiting for Xbox, ladies and gentlemen. They've come out and admitted it. If that didn't come out, then we probably wouldn't be having this conversation whatsoever.
Yeah, we
would literally be just saying PlayStation will probably match them.
Yeah,
or all of them will be matched in some sort of way.
Yeah.
But as PlayStation have come out and said, we are waiting for Xbox, that does make me think
they know something about that price of that console.
Yeah. The lockout, that's the thing about the lockout, is not as powerful as the PlayStation 5, if I remember right. But okay, going off what the rumors are, I go back to the rumor again. So they could knock it down pretty cheap even from the PlayStation 5 all digital edition. But
yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Because then you're in an entirely different landscape. If your digital edition console is the same price as the most powerful version of the Xbox console, and then you've got another version of your console which is even more expensive, and again slightly less powerful than the Xbox, you're in trouble.
PlayStation 3 again.
You're in trouble. It's PlayStation 3 again. And just as a segue to that, one of the sentences of Jim Ryan actually said really put my back up. Or like, didn't put my back up, but it's made me a bit cautious. Where he was talking about the value proposition. And he said, before we ensure the overall value proposition in terms of the console and the games, we must be more attentive and make this something that our community aspires towards. Moody, something our community aspires towards. That's almost straight from 2005. It's an aspirational product. It's something that their community to aspire towards owning. Like, we've been down this road before with PlayStation, and it ended with a $600 console.
I'm going to throw in even more things here. Is this why Sean Layden left?
Sean Layden left under very, very mysterious circumstances, and we covered it on the podcast because it wasn't so much him leaving as it was the way his departure was announced, how he reacted on Twitter. A lot of people have left PlayStation recently. Sean Layden was the most high-profile, strangest one. But a lot of people have left PlayStation in the past year. I can't even remember most of them, but a lot of people have left. Gio, I know Gio left. Gio Corsi. Just from where I'm sitting right now, having read the things Jim Ryan has said, knowing the history of all the different console launches, like, I'm seeing the same pattern of what PlayStation is saying now and what the types of things PlayStation was saying in 2005.
It's like at the end, where I said openly when the Xbox came out, revealed, and if the prices do come out how I believe they are going to come out, that all digital edition, me and my partner have already said we will probably buy $3.99, I think that's a steal. I think it's a fantastic price. If Xbox undercut them, or have the disc version, powerful version at the same price, that's going to make me have a different conversation altogether.
You're going to be having a different conversation with yourself. Again, I've said this, I think, to you. I don't know if I've said it on a podcast. So let me just throw this out there on the podcast. I am a gaming YouTuber and a Twitch streamer. Like, I make it my business to review games on my YouTube channel and to have access to as many different platforms as I possibly can. If PlayStation 5 is going to be $500 to $600, it might be a while before I get one. Like, I am quite happy to not. Like, even with Spider-Man and Deathloop coming out on that platform, and you know how hyped I am for Deathloop. Like, I'll just be like, no, I'm alright, thanks. Like, yeah. I don't need that. I can't afford that. Like,
I didn't get an Xbox until it was $3.99 off. Even no, I got the Esther when it was when it was cheaper. It was like $3.50, I think. I got it when it was a lot more cheaper for us. And because I didn't think the Xbox warranted $4.99.
No,
I didn't believe it warranted or anything like that. So
I bought an Xbox. I bought an Xbox One in February 2014 for $469.99. I got Dead Rising with it. Terrible game. Don't recommend. I bought it for Titanfall. Like, I mean, I bought it because I wanted an Xbox, but the game that tipped me over the edge was Titanfall. And to be fair, I got my money's worth out of Titanfall. But yeah, even buying that was like, I was wrestling with that for a little while. I fought $469. But
August is gonna be fascinating.
Yeah, whenever PlayStation decide to reveal their product, like, I think Xbox, whoever reveals their price first, it's gonna be a fascinating moment in whoever reveals their price, but it's also gonna be a fascinating, like, aftermath of, like, what happens next. Like, because we've been all over the map for both companies in terms of, for the last 6 months, we've been all over the place. Like, Xbox is going to be $600. PlayStation is going to be $600. Whoa, Xbox might be really cheap. PlayStation might be really cheap. Like, but I think you can start piecing some things together and seeing some stuff and sort of thinking, I wonder if this. And I wonder if this doesn't look so great for PlayStation right now.
We will, I guess the big thing is, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find out in July. We'll find out in July because I think what's going to happen, whatever Microsoft do in July, and they still haven't even given us a date for that yet. They've just said July. So, and I don't think they'll give us a date until it's in July. So we're coming into July.
When did we find out? Wasn't that far in advance that we found out about the Inside Xbox, the first one? PlayStation always do it with a day or two.
Yeah.
Xbox is like a week. Was it a week?
It was a week or two, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? No, wasn't it on the same week as Assassin's Creed Valhalla was shown when they announced it? And they said, it says after the trailer, see more at Xbox.
See more at Xbox. So we already knew the Xbox was having an event at that point.
So I think it was like a week before or something like that. But yeah.
I don't know. Let's crack
it. It is going to be fascinating, Amy.
Next person that asks me how much I think the PlayStation 5 is going to be is going to get pokes in both eyes. Quarantine be damned. Next news story. Little Devil Inside devs apologize for racist enemy design and will change them. This is from Zach Zweisen over at Kotaku, who writes, the developers behind one of the games shown off at the PS5 event on June 11th have issued an apology after folks on social media spotted some enemies which seem to be racist caricatures of black or indigenous tribal people. They also plan on changing the design of the enemies. Little Devil Inside was one of the cooler looking games seen during the PS5 event, but over the past few days, the few days after it was shown. Sorry, some of these articles are old. Timelines are a bit weird. Folks noticed some enemy designs that contained racist stereotypes, including big red lips, dreads, and white loincloths. One of the first people to spot this and share it on Twitter was Twitch streamer Lord Balvin. Quote, I was so excited for Little Devil Inside, then I noticed these enemy types, end quote, Balvin said in his tweet, criticising the design. Others also found the designs to be stereotypical depictions of tribal people, like Twitch streamer Pikachu Leader. In a series of tweets, she explained how the design was a racist caricature. Quote, there's a way of depicting indigenous tribes or tribal people without portraying a caricature. The lips, the dreads, those are stereotypes. End quote. In response to the criticisms, the developer behind the game, NeoStream, posted an apology on the game's official Facebook page. Quote, racist stereotypes of any kind were absolutely not intended. We were not aware of the stereotypical connotations and wish to apologise to anyone who may have been offended by the character design. End quote. The developer said it was never their intention to create character designs referencing any real African and or Afro-American human tribes. The studio does not claim they have plans... that was a horrific misspeak on my part. Let me try again. The studio does claim they have plans for fixing their mistake. The developer will remove the dreadlocks, change the look of the lips, alter the skin tone, and tweak the dart blows to make them look, quote, less like a joint, end quote. And if this isn't enough, the devs may change the design entirely. So I put this in here, not because I wanted to have a big, long discussion about the Little Devil Inside or the developer NeoStream, because I wanted to just say, and you can add on whatever you want to this, Murdy, but I just wanted to say, this is how you do it. Like, you put a thing out there as a game developer, a trailer, a game, a screenshot, whatever it is, and people notice that there's something wrong with it. In this case, hey, this is a bit racist. And then as a developer, you look at it, you look at what people are saying, and you go, shit, yeah, it is. Okay, cool. We fucked it. Our apologies. We'll change it. Why isn't it always like this? Why is it always weeks and weeks of back and forth with developers going, oh, well, we're sorry if you were offended by our offensive whatever the fuck we put in our game? Just, shit, we fucked it. We'll fix it.
I don't think I needed to say anything else. I think you've said it spot on, Amy.
It's because I've been doing this for 5 years. I've lived through things like Ion Fury, and it's just so refreshing. Like, I'd spotted the tweet by Pikachu Leader, and I'd spotted the tweet by Lord Balvin, like a day or two after the PS5 reveal event, and we'd recorded our thing and talked about the Little Devil Inside, and we were both like, that it did look really cool. And neither of us spotted it because it's a very small part of the trailer. Most people didn't see it. And then like it happened, and I was like, oh fuck, because I like the look of the game. And it's just like, for fuck's sake, you know, like, and instinctually I was like in that movement of like, again with like Ion Fury or Kingdom Come Deliverance, where it was just like the devs gonna double down, and this is gonna happen, and that's gonna happen, and then it's just gonna become a whole thing. Now a few days later they just posted to their Facebook and they were like, sorry, we didn't know. Like, I think the developers from Korea, and they just didn't know that was a racist stereotype, like that design. And they've just got, cool, I can change it. And if we can't change it so it doesn't look like a racist stereotype, we'll just redo it completely into something completely different. And it was like this wave just washed over me of just like, ah.
Well, that's the thing about it. Yeah, it's just that's like you said, it's how it's done. This is how it should be done. It's not a big explosion of things or anything like that where one person's throwing bombs at another one and they're throwing retaliation bombs and everything like that. It's just like, you look at it, you research it, you check it. You maybe even talk to the people who have tweeted this out and say, let's have a conversation here privately. I don't know if they have or anything like that. It's not my business. And they've talked and they've said, well, you know what? You're right. We fucked up. Let's get this sorted, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Apology out there. It's not going off what you've said there, read here, it's not a corporate apology or anything like that. It's a sincere apology. Yeah, we messed up. We will get this sorted. blah,
It's
blah,
not
blah.
a non-apology. They're not digging their heels in and saying, "Well, it's the artistic vision of the game." They're not apologizing for offending people. They just literally apologized and are going to change it, and we can all just move on. It's amazing.
I remember an episode from Recess years ago when I was a kid. I used to love that as a kid. And there's one episode where TJ is getting accused of swearing and everything. Wops, his word was. It's not even swear. It's just a fun little thing he says. That's how he expresses his anger or annoyance. Oh, this wumps and everything like that. And he was in some crazy, stupid way. He gets taken to court for it. That's how outlandish it is. And the judge was even saying, "Why am I here? What's this?" and everything like that. And he laughs at it. And he's just saying, "Yo, the kid's apologized. That's all that matters. You apologize, you move on, and everything." That's what happened. That's what I love about it. That's that episode's always resonate with me. So if you do not have to accept the apology. That's fine, ladies and gentlemen. But they've apologized, and let's see what they do. They're going to sort this. That's fantastic. That's what I want to see.
From what I've seen of everything that happened since the trailer broke and then all this came up, and it feels like it wasn't malicious. I'm willing to give the developer the benefit of the doubt. This isn't a THQ Nordic situation. This isn't an Ion Fury situation. You know, there's enough good faith here for me to just go, cool, okay, you're fixing it, brilliant. I'm looking forward to your game. Now I'm gonna go and play something else, and just not think about it. Yeah. And it's refreshing when that happens because it doesn't happen very often. Usually it goes in the other direction. Blizzard.
World War does not need to happen with every argument, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. It doesn't.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like you get a developer that'll just dig their heels in, double down, and then that's when it all explodes. It's the drum we've been hammering for the last few weeks. Listen, that's what this developer did. NeoStream. That's what they did. They listened. Amazing what can happen when you listen.
I go back to what we said at the beginning of what I'm doing and everything. That's what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, because I always stood by, and I'll say this right here. I always stood by from artistic choice. That the developer and everything like that, or film creator or anything like that, has an artistic choice. It's not for you or anything like that. It's for their artistic vision. But if something comes across stereotypical and racist and everything like that, it needs to be called out, and they've called it out, and they've done it in a respectful way. The developers come back and double checked it. I'm honestly, I do believe they've had a conversation with those people as well, and they've talked about, and they've come to agreement and say, yeah, you know what, we were wrong. Didn't realize it. We fucked up. Let's get this sorted. It's the honest truth.
And it's done.
Done. Move on. All that matters.
Okay, if you say so. Next up, we have the NPD Breakdown for May 2020. I know that wasn't what you meant, but I used it as a nice segue. This will not take very long because if anyone... This is late because it came out when we were doing our Not E3 podcast. There's one change. There's so few changes to what we talked about for April 2020. But here are the top 10 best-selling games of May 2020. Number 1, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 3, it was free on PC. It's been in Game Pass. It was a PS Plus game.
Who's still buying it? I have to ask.
Buying this game?
Buying this game?
Number 3, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 4, NBA 2K20. Number 5, Mortal Kombat 11. Number 6, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 7, Minecraft. Number 8, Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Number 9, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Number 10, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Boom! Moody. First month of the year, there were no new releases in the top 10. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Collection came in at 14, Minecraft Dungeons came in at 15, Saints Row the Third Remastered came in at 16. Those were the new releases.
Respect the Minecraft. Respect in the top 20. Game Pass game. Still people bought it. I know it's on the Switch and PlayStation and everything like that, but yeah.
It was sold on Switch as well, apparently.
Yeah, so respected that's done. Yeah, you may have enjoyed it. We haven't gone back to it yet, but we enjoyed it.
We enjoyed what we played of it, though.
Yeah, respect to them. Well done to them. Anyhow, going back to Xenoblade. Yeah, Nintendo fans, they love their exclusives and they will support them to the end. But well done. And like I say, I hear it's a good game, so well done to them.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are enjoying it. I was watching SGDQ. SGDC. I'm getting two things mixed up there, the podcast. SGDC. Not Summer Games Done Quick. And they were talking about it on Friday, and they really like it. And I was like, cool, that's cool. That's something for me. I tried a Xenoblade game, and I was just like, it's not for me. But I respect it. There's some notes here. I guess I'll read them. None of them are particularly necessarily noteworthy. It was a very sort of typical month. Mortal Kombat 11 is the 5th best-selling game of May 2020. It is the highest the title has ranked on the monthly chart since it was the 3rd best-selling game of June 2019. It's also currently the 5th best-selling fighting game in the US history. So obviously got a resurgence because the big DLC came out in May. 5th best-selling fighting game in US history is pretty cool, though. Year-to-date dollar sales of Nintendo Switch remain the highest of any hardware platform in US history. The previous high was set by the Nintendo Wii in the year-to-date period ending May 2008. May 2020 tracked spending across video game hardware, software, accessories, and game cards totaled $977 million, 52% higher when compared to a year ago. This is the highest track spending for a May month since the $1.2 billion achieved in May 2008. And also, dollar sales of tracked video game software gained 67% in May compared to a year ago to $438 million. This is the highest total achieved since the $487 million reached in May 2010. Basically, people don't have anything to do, so they're buying video games.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, I'm locked in the house, what can I do? And there's only so much Netflix you can watch. Eventually, you just gotta move, even if it's just moving your thumbs. you gotta move. That's been me all weekend, to be fair. Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting to see. Like it's people are just going finding games, and it's not just about like having something to do as well. Like it's a social thing. Like it's been a way for people to stay connected. Like myself, Moody, Keith. We've been playing Apex Legends a lot more than we probably ordinarily would have, just because not only is it a game we enjoy, but also it's a game that connects us, and we can chat and talk and feel the warmth of human companionship, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And glitch out at the same time.
And
win
the
a
fuck
game
out and win a game while glitched. The top 10 best-selling games year to date. One thing has changed since last month. Call of Duty is at number 1, Animal Crossing New Horizons is at number 2. At number 3 is Final Fantasy VII Remake. At number 4 is Grand Theft Auto 5. At number 5 is NBA 2K20. Number 6 is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Number 7, MLB The Show 20. Number 8, Resident Evil 3. Number 9, Madden NFL 20. And number 10 is Red Dead Redemption 2. Only thing that changed is Grand Theft Auto went up a bit. That was it.
two Rocksteady games in now. We've read that as well.
Yeah.
Not Rockstar. I don't know why I said Rockstar.
Yeah, I don't think either will be in the final tally at the end of the year again, like it was last year. We still got a lot of big games.
And like long. I didn't expect that, because that game was terrible.
A lot of games have just dropped off a cliff. Have you noticed this? Like, a lot of games I wouldn't have expected, a lot of new release games I wouldn't have expected to do well in their launch month and then just fall off a cliff. Like we talked about it with Doom Eternal a couple of months ago. Like, Doom Eternal made a big splash in March, and then it was just gone. It was just gone in April. Like, it was out of the top 20 completely. Like, and there's a few games I've noticed that have come in and they've hit the top 10 in the NPD somewhere, and then they've just disappeared and never come back. Which is, it's weird. It's interesting to me, because normally you see them sort of slide. Like the big games, you'll see them slide down rather than hit and then disappear. Which is...
Congratulations on the game.
Yes. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Animal Crossing, all of the games we just mentioned, except Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know why people are still buying Grand Theft Auto 5. Stop it.
You think are Rockstar just buying it themselves?
This is the reason we don't have. This is the reason we're not going to have 6 till 2025.
I don't mind that.
Which is fine by me because I don't play Grand Theft Auto. I don't like it very much, but whatevs. Moody, I put this next story in because Keith and I talk about this game a lot. And honestly, I think it was a reflex reaction. I saw the story, I was like, oh shit, I better put it in the podcast. Do you want to talk about it, or do you just want to skip to game announcements?
Let's go to game announcements.
Yeah, I figured. Game announcements. Then again, I've probably missed a shit ton of them. It was a busy, strange week. Here they are. Pokemon Snap is coming to Nintendo Switch at some point in the future. Cyberpunk 2077 was delayed to November 19th and will be backwards compatible on PS5 and Xbox Series X. Excuse me, I needed a cough. Horizon Forbidden West is coming to PS5 in 2021. A new skate game exists. Star Wars Squadrons is coming to PC, PS4 and Xbox One on October 6th. Apex Legends is coming to Steam and Switch this fall. It Takes Two is a new Haze-like game was announced. Lost in Random is the new Zoink Games game that was announced. Rocket Arena is coming to PC, PS4 and Xbox One on July 14th. And Other Side is coming to PC, PS4 and Xbox One on July 28th. Moody? Pokemon Snap. They did it. They did it. Nintendo actually fucking went and did it. They were like, here's a game you want. People want this game, and we've ignored them for 20 years. We've been deaf and blind to these people begging for Pokemon Snap. And then on a random, what was it, a random fucking Wednesday or whatever day it was, when very few people were even paying attention, they just went,
Nintendo Direct. Oh,
and everybody just went, what the fuck? I did. I didn't watch it. Because I was like, you know what? I don't play Sword and Shield. Whatever. I'm just going to skip this Pokemon Nintendo Direct thing. Yeah. And then I was on Twitter. I'd been doing something. And when I'd finished doing the thing, I was looking through and everybody was talking about Pokemon Snap. And I was like, I was skeptical. Yeah. I was skeptical. Because I was like, I've been hurt too many times before. But then actually, no, it turns out, it's real. It's coming.
Yep. Apparently, yeah. I'll say right now, I have no affiliation for this. I've never played them. Never played Snap. I never grew up with it. I didn't take pictures of my Pokemon. I captured them and made them fight each other in Pokemon Blue and Red and Yellow, and then the so on sequels. I just never got around to playing it. But I'm so happy for a lot of people. Fixer's reaction is funny as hell. He's brilliant at it. I love him so much. Well done to him for that. But yeah, I'm so happy for a lot of people who love this game. It's fantastic for them. Yeah, can't ask for much more.
Similar with Skate. I'm really happy for the people who love Skate. Don't get me wrong. Cool. I'm glad you got, I feel that affinity with the Skate, because I got the game I thought was never going to happen. And Skate fans got the announcement of the game that they never thought was going to happen. Which was two people who seemed like really lovely gentlemen talking about how there's a new Skate. So in terms of how they announced these things, it was kind of the polar opposite, right? Like Nintendo were like, here's a trailer. This game exists. See it in all its glory. And EA were like, yo, there's a new Skate game coming out. Will you shut the fuck up now, please? And I know your feelings on this, but the internet at large does not, because the video won't listen.
I will reiterate what you just said. I'm happy for all the Skate fans out there. Really happy. So you're getting what you want.
So moving on, because there's a few things I want to talk about in terms of this, but I'm going to tie my hair up because I feel like I've got two radiators hanging down the side of my face. I'm going to ask you, a question, and I want you to answer it and expand upon it. Looking at the Cyberpunk news, is the Xbox Series X coming out on November 19th?
No.
I mean, I saw what you said, because I can lip read.
No, I do not think it's coming on the 19th. I think it's going to come a week earlier. I think PlayStation's going to drop the 20th of November. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Xbox want to get out early. I think they want their console out early for me personally before PlayStation, so they can get, especially if the price is what the rumors are. I think it's going to be fascinating. Like I say, I think
That's bad.
if the rumors for the prices are true for Xbox, I think Xbox drop earlier.
So you don't think Xbox is coming out on November 19th?
No, I think PlayStation are going to drop on the 20th of November.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Someone tried to do an analysis of the Cyberpunk release date, being like, it's on a Thursday. Ooh, that's a weird date to release video games. And it was like, one, no, it's not, and two, the last release date for Cyberpunk was also on a Thursday. People are just like going mad. Right, it's been 6 months of non-stop next generation. It's like little breadcrumbs. I think it's driving some people mad. I think we're all starting to see shadows and smoke monsters everywhere.
Just a little bit, yeah. I'll say this: if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think one of the consoles is releasing really close to Cyberpunk. I don't deny that. I do believe that. But I just feel like it's the difference one. I think it's PlayStation and Xbox. But I do believe, like we already seen, Xbox have the marketing latest, so don't have to worry about that. I think Xbox want to be out early, letting you play Halo, get that out, and they'll literally smash the trailers like hell with the Xbox logo with Cyberpunk. And they'll do that like crazy. And I think that's what they're going to do. So
Wake don't you up, Samurai.
That's how.
We have a city to burn. Sorry, I'm just having E3 2019 flashbacks.
Yeah.
I can't remember what podcast or stream we were talking about that on, but...
yeah. And also, I know a lot of people are disappointed that it's getting delayed. Delays are good, ladies and gentlemen. Like, they've even said themselves, this game is done. It's buggy as hell. If they drop this in September, it's buggy as hell, you're going to complain like crazy about that. And think, oh my god, CD Projekt Reds, they're doing it wrong. Are they failing and everything? Yada, yada, yada. And still yet be one of the most successful games of this year. Even after all those complaints.
That's how it works. I read a really fascinating article, which I wish I'd remembered the link for. I would have put it in the content drop, about how to make a game a hit. It has nothing to do with the game itself. In the AAA space, it is legitimately just like you get the trailer out there and then you just market it, and you'll be able to guarantee a moderate success. Like Cyberpunk 2077, I'm sure it's going to be a great game, but it could be terrible. And it'll still be one of the top 10 best-selling games. But yeah, because that's how the AAA games industry works.
Yeah, it does.
It can't fail.
I feel like I feel like this is me just pushing this game back. Is Horizon? I was like, I've been saying launch title for the PlayStation 5, and they just watched me and they're like, yeah, we're gonna piss this guy off.
It could just as easily be my fault, because I was saying that right up until I saw Spider-Man, and then I was like, they've got Spider-Man, they don't need Horizon. It might be it might just as easily be my fault as yours.
Yeah, but you changed your opinion, I didn't. So I'm gonna stick with this. Same thing. Could be interesting when that one comes out. I don't think they'll have a fall game in 2021. I think they're just going to leave it for the AAA games, FIFA and everything like they normally do. I think this will be out latest September.
No, this Horizon Forbidden West will be a March-April game. 2021.
March. I think March at the max. I think drop it the same month they dropped the first one.
I think people will say that that's too quick. And again, I've said this multiple times when we've talked about when it was coming out in months past. It's like people forget that game's more than 3 years old at this point. Like they've been working on it for a long time.
Well, on top of that, like going off what from developers say, the PlayStation 5 is very, very easy to develop for.
Yeah, it's
so if that's putting the time back even more,
it's a super powered PS5. Like it's not like the architecture is the same. This isn't like PS3 because the cell architecture kind of fucked everyone over for like 2 generations essentially, because it took people ages to then develop for the PS4. That's why backwards compatibility isn't a thing. really.
Yeah.
On it's why if you want a backwards compatible PS3 game, you pretty much have to either wait for someone to rebuild the game, or you have to stream it on PlayStation now.
And you need the 400 megabyte internet.
You don't. xCloud proved that to me because I can play that, but for some reason Stadia doesn't work. Star Wars Squadrons as well. I just want to highlight it as being like, it's not necessarily the game for me, but I know the game for me is in development because it's called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2, or whatever they end up calling it. But it's cool because I've seen a lot of people be really excited about it, and I'm just like, cool, good for you. I'll play it a bit. I'll fuck about with it in VR because it's a VR game, and then I
feel like the expectations of the price for it, like $40.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever going to be a $60 game.
Well, no, all the year would.
All the year,
yeah, the price.
That's the thing that was really interesting about EA Play this year was just like there was no apart from the way they announced Skate 4. Like, okay, so like the last 3 minutes of the presentation, there was like no trace of the old EA in that entire presentation. Like, they were all about crossplay. They were all about talking up diversity, inclusion, and representation. They were all about being consumer friendly and like bringing their games over to Steam so more people could play them. Even though you get the game on Steam, you download it on Steam, and then it opens Origin. There's like. That it felt like a different company was talking for most of it.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting. And hopefully continues. Like, if you have turned a corner, like, awesome. Awesome.
What we want, Liz, we want to turn a corner.
This week's content drop, there's 3 items in it. 1 video, 2 articles. The first thing is PT VR Remake in Half-Life Alyx. This is a 8-minute let's play on YouTube. Someone used the modding tools available for Half-Life Alyx to remake PT in virtual reality, which I've had that nightmare before. I can't handle PT on a TV screen. In dreams. So being present in that game, like, because like it's not even just when the lady turns up and the really scary stuff starts to happen. Like, the atmosphere of that game is oppressive when you're just walking around the corridor and the radio's going and the little chandeliers swinging backwards and forwards. I watched this video and I was like, nah. And there's even one point where the person playing the VR demo he's hiding in the bathroom. And he's just like, nope. I'm just gonna stay in the corner and close my eyes, and you can see his hands like moving up to the visor of the thing. Like, nope. It's just like, yeah, that's how I would be. I got 2 articles from Kotaku as well. The first one, 4 games that resonate and 1 I hate as I celebrate Juneteenth by Parish. And video games have to reckon with how they depict the police by Imran Khan. Both of those are on Kotaku. All 3 of these things will have links in the description below the video on YouTube. You should go and check them all out. They're really interesting. Games out this week?
Go for it.
Cool. Nothing quite as big as The Last of Us Part 2 this week. On June 23rd, we've got Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Are you ready, kids? The cult classic is back, faithfully remade in sponge-tastic splendor. Play as SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy, and show the evil plankton that crime pays even less than Mr. Krabs. Fun description, but I still don't know what kind of game it is. Pokemon Cafe Mix also comes out on June 23rd on Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. Pokemon Cafe Mix is a delightful free-to-start puzzle game for Nintendo Switch and smart devices. Work together with Pokemon to complete puzzles and create wonderful drinks and dishes to serve at your Pokemon Cafe. That sounds delightful. On June 24th, we have Ninjala coming to Nintendo Switch. Assume the role of a modern-day ninja and take part in the Ninjala tournament. Use ninja gum to blow bubbles that can be tossed at your foes, craft all sorts of weapons, and dash across stages. Then on June 25th, we've got Phantom Covert Ops coming to Rift and Quest. You are a Phantom, an elite covert operative with one night to prevent all-out war. Dispatched into hostile wetlands in your military kayak, utilize weapons and equipment to neutralize the enemy threat. Engage targets lethally or infiltrate unnoticed from the shadows. This is stealth action redefined. Lastly, also on June 25th, Mr. Driller Drill Land comes to Nintendo Switch. It said it also coming to PC, but I couldn't find it on Steam or Epic or anywhere else, so I took that part out. But if it comes out on PC, it was also said it's coming out on PC. The popular action game Mr. Driller Drill Land makes its Western debut on the Nintendo Switch. You're invited to a secret amusement park known as Drill Land, 500 meters underground. Explore and conquer the 5 attractions with simple yet exciting gameplay that guests of all ages can enjoy. Sounds
Truly.
nice. Lots of free games, lots of remasters, remakes, re-releases, and then a VR game where you play a military special operative and you spend your entire time in a kayak with a sniper rifle. And to be fair, it looks pretty dope. Like, I am definitely wanting to check that game out on my riff. Because I saw it at E3 last year, and I was like, this looks pretty cool.
It's what we want to hear, so that's
and
great.
again, if the entire game takes place on a kayak, it also means I don't need to worry about my limited space, because I'll be sitting. Roll, roll, roll. Moody, let's play OpenCritic. Head to head. Your head to my head. This is the game we play every single week where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one of the upcoming games of the week ahead. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score completely correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, Mr. Moody and I both tried to guess the OpenCritic average of West of Dead because, of course, Last of Us Part 2's review embargo was the week before. I guessed it would get an OpenCritic average of 77. Moody guessed it would get an OpenCritic average of 87. And at the time of recording, West of Dead has an OpenCritic average of 76. How many times have I been one off? It's starting to really annoy me.
Stop complaining, you're 3 points ahead.
Yeah. So that puts the scores at Amy 11, Moody 8 with 1 draw. I guessed closest on Dreams, Warcraft 3, One Punch Man, Half-Life Alyx, Resident Evil 3, Gears Tactics, Legends of Runeterra, Deep Rock Galactic, Mania, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Collection, and West of Dead. Moody guessed closest on Zombie Army 4, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, XCOM Chimera Squad, Command & Conquer Remastered, and guessed the score completely correctly for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Of course, the draw was The Last of Us Part 2. The biggest game release of the year. Split the difference between us. This week we are guessing the OpenCritic average of Spongebob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I've got my answer written down on a post-it note right here. Moody, what are you thinking?
This game looks terrible. 71.
I love that terrible is still like above 7. Do you know what, honestly, like it's not interested me the entire time. Like, I've known it's been a thing, because it was like last E3, I think just before last E3 it got announced. So I was like, I haven't seen a trailer, I haven't read a preview, I haven't looked at this game. The most I've looked at this game was yesterday night when I was putting these show notes together, and I went to the Steam store page and I grabbed the description of the game and put it in this document. And that's the most I've looked at it. Mine's nice, because it's 69.
I'll put a tie here, aren't we? It's going to be 70 on the dot. You know it is.
I did. Do you? So Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games last year, wasn't it? Where I for a joke, I just said 69. And it was 69. Yeah. That was my entire motivation, because I was like, I don't know shit all about this game. I don't really want to take the time to learn about this game. 69. Lol. Because I'm very mature. Really.
Like I researched just a little bit and everything, and I've gone off. They don't have an OpenCritic for the the previous version of this game because it came out on PlayStation 2 era. So I've had to go off what Metacritic has it either. Metacritic doesn't have it that high either. So yeah, I went for 71. So
Fair
I
enough.
just have a feeling that because of the people with the nostalgia for Spongebob, I think some of the critics might give it a little extra love
Fair
for the
enough.
nostalgia.
I'll take your word for it. Like I say, I just
Me and SpongeBob, we don't get along.
I could put a number chart on the wall and just that one with some of these games. That's what happens in the summer when none of the big games come out. Like the next one I'm truly gonna actually think about is Ghost of Tsushima, and that's still like 3 weeks away. Mooney, it's the post-show discussion. Got loads of time. What's on your mind? Lay it all out on me. Pretend I'm one of those radio hosts that's like, just tell me your problems. Lay it out. Got the cigar. I've got the whiskey. I'm leaning in really close to the microphone, but talking in a low voice. You know, that kind of radio show. Like, hit me up.
I'll state what I've said on Twitter already. I love The Last of Us Part 2. It is a masterpiece. It really is for me.
Yeah. So I'm 10 hours in, I think. So I cannot definitively declare that I agree with you, Moody. I am like 10 hours in, but I love what I've played so far. Like 95% of what I've played so far, I've been like, this is pretty amazing. And as someone who goes into games with both eyes like critical, because I was going to say with a critical eye, but it's like, no, both of my eyes are critical. Like, that's pretty amazing. That is pretty amazing too, to just be like, I don't see very much wrong with this game right now. In terms of like our main like thoughts on the game, like I'll have an impressions video come out as soon as possible. And then again, as I mentioned, this Thursday we'll be doing a full spoiler discussion. Where we talk about as much whatever we want to talk about. There's two things I actually want, like, if we're going to talk about The Last of Us for part of this post show, there's two things I want to shout out specifically about the game, and neither of them are spoilers in any way. The first one is the accessibility options are ridiculous and amazing, and I love them. Like, holy fuck. Like, the accessibility options are incredible. The difficulty settings are incredible. This is what I've been talking about for years. Like, you just do this. More people can play your game.
Yeah.
Mind blown. But, like, yeah, the difficulty, when I actually looked in the menu, because at the beginning, it asks you to set your difficulty to the normal presets. It's like, you know, easy, moderate, story, hard, whatever. But if you actually go into it in the options menu as you play in the game, like, you can choose between those presets or you can customize it. So you can, like, turn up the enemy difficulty and turn down, like, how effective your AI partner is in combat. Like, you can change how many resources you find. And there's a bunch of different toggles that are, like, they've got, like, 5 stages each. It's just like, I want every game to have this.
Yeah. I think it's guaranteed for Naughty Dog from now often when it comes to their type of games. Hopefully, like Santa Monica, the other Sony exclusive studios will implement this type of system as well. Hopefully, it'll be lovely to see and everything, and then other developers pick it up and take it on as well. Yeah, it's a fantastic thing. It really is. Like when I saw it, I had a look at it. I don't need to use any of it or anything like that for me. But to know that's there, to know that this is this is a game. This is a game about hate. Yet it's allowing accessibility for people who normally can't really play games.
Yeah,
who have that they can't do anything about, but they want to still play your game. And Naughty Dog have literally gone, what do you need?
Yeah.
They haven't gone, fudge you, go away. They've literally said, what can we do to help you to play our game?
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
So there are 60 accessibility options in The Last of Us Part 2. I want to read this, actually, because I brought up a CNN article, because I searched it because I wanted to find out how many there were. But there's like the first few sentences of this article. I just want to read it so people know what we're talking about when we are championing and arguing for accessibility in games, like so that more people can enjoy games. And bearing in mind, like I've been raising money for special effects for like more than half a decade at this point. Like in terms of like this is my thing in the games industry. I want more people to be able to enjoy games. I'm just going to read this from CNN. When blind gamer Steve Saylor received an early review copy of The Last of Us Part 2, one of the most anticipated video games of the year, he wasn't entirely sure what to expect. So he set up his camera, ready to record his reaction in a video for his gaming YouTube channel. But just seconds into the video, the Canadian streamer suddenly burst into tears. Quote, "I was expecting to record a really exciting hype moment showing the first time I see all the accessibility settings, but basically the second I started up the game, I was hearing a text-to-speech read off every single accessibility option. To be honest, the floodgates just kind of opened. I couldn't stop crying for a solid 10 minutes. It was like everything I had been working for in the past 5 years, my efforts with disability consulting and advocating for more accessibility in games, finally paid off. This is literally the first time we have ever seen a game have this many features." End quote. And that's what it means, right there. It's crazy. Like I've even I've used them. I used the I tried out the high contrast mode, which is it's the thing that turns all the enemies like the entire environment grey. It turns your character and your ally character blue. It turns your enemy red, and it turns like collectibles and things in the environment yellow. And I tried it out and I used it so I could find collectibles in the area. It was really cool. Like, because that game is visually dense and it can be quite difficult sometimes to see not just small details in the environment. Sometimes it can be quite difficult to see an enemy, like, just standing there. Like, and that's the one thing I turned on for about 10 minutes. And then turned it off again. I'd love, once I've finished the game, to actually, like, just jump back in and actually just mess around with some of the accessibility settings just to see what they all are and what they all do. But the fact that someone who's blind can, from moment one, have no difficulty playing this game. Like, there's not even any like awkwardness in trying to set up the accessibility options in the game because it just reads the damn thing. It just reads all the options off to you right at the beginning. Incredible. Goddamn incredible.
Yeah. And I'll say this right now, this was probably one of the main reasons why it got delayed so many times. They wanted to make sure this was right.
Maybe. I'd say the other one is the technology in the game. There's two things that I've seen in the game that blew my mind. Like, literally, like, to the point where my skull it's still somewhere in this room, I think. But ropes in that game. Like, they're going to sound like really small things, but the technology behind how it must work. Like, for the first time I've ever like played my PS4 and like, you know, you can hear the fucking fan from like downstairs, but it's like I understand why. Like the ropes is the first one, the dynamic ropes in the environment that you can pick up and like throw over something and then use it to swing or like climb or whatever. Like that's crazy. Like the programming behind that is crazy. The second one is there's a cutscene which I've seen on Twitter. I don't think I've seen it in the game yet, where one character takes the shirt comes off of a character in a realistic way. Like, it doesn't clip through anything. It doesn't even clip through hair. And how did you do this? Like, how did you do this? This is not supposed to be possible. Like, in a video game. Yeah. Are you fucking mad? And, like, I know they sound like little things, but it's so impressive. Like, what they've managed to do with just those two little things. Like, and like, there are a lot of small details in The Last of Us Part 2 that have really impressed me as I've gone on. But it's like, those two things just made my jaw just drop.
They've done an incredible job. The whole team, from developers to the cast to the writers to the voice acting and everything, it's it's amazing. I love this game. I love this. I went like this one. I tweeted this out this morning. If The Last of Us Part 2 was a film, I would say literally hand them all the Oscars right now. It is brilliant. It's a story. The story is more than brilliant. It is the most in-depth, visceral, emotional, resonating, powerful storytelling I've ever seen in a video game, and I stand by that. I felt so invested in the story that I was getting gut punched and punched in the face, and the fact that that it shows you what can happen when even normal good people get caught up in anger and revenge and bitterness, and bad things happen, and suddenly one thing gets compounded on compounded. That's how in depth this story is, ladies and gentlemen. It's meant to make you uncomfortable. They have literally set this up to make you feel uncomfortable. If you are uncomfortable with what happens in this game, they've succeeded what they wanted to do. I can tell you that right now. I love this game. It's a masterpiece for me. It's one of the greatest games I've ever played. It's 10 times, and I didn't expect they would be able to do this. This is 10 times better than the first one.
Damn.
I adore the Last of Us Part 2.
Damn.
I didn't even spell a single thing there, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, at least, 6 months from now when we're doing a Game of the Year podcast, I already know the answer.
Yeah. You don't need to watch me. I'll just put a sign up.
I don't even know, yeah. We do awards rather than for a podcast. But now we'll be able to do the awards, and it won't just be me talking about it, Moody, because you actually play new games. It's going to be great. Games, yeah. Normally, it's just me talking for an hour and a half. Because Keith will play one new game in a year.
No, I play new games. Don't worry, Amy. I intend to play Ghost of Tsushima, so.
Oh, that looks good. But yeah, I'm loving The Last of Us Part 2. I did get one spoiler for on the night time, on the Thursday night, early Friday morning. But I'm glad I got it, if that makes sense, because of what it was. It prepared me for a part of the game that I haven't reached yet. So if I'm being cagey on my opinion of the game, it's because there's a part of the game I'm trepidatious about reaching. And I want to see what that does to my opinion of the whole thing as an experience. But for the first 10 hours, I'll just say, this is, I feel the same about this game as I do about the original Last of Us. And if you've ever heard me talk about the original Last of Us, then you'll know that that's, high praise. Almost as high a praise as I could possibly give a video game.
Yeah.
And I'll be playing it tonight, and I'll be playing it tomorrow, and I'll hopefully finish it tomorrow. And then allow myself to collect my thoughts for whenever I record this spoiler discussion. It's, yeah. I haven't played, I've played a bunch of Steam demos, but I don't know, does anyone want to hear me talk about that at the post-show discussion when there's videos coming out? The thing ends on Tuesday, so it's even if I say go play this, unless you freaking watch this podcast, the moment it comes out, it's pretty much going to be over. So, yeah, it's cool. I stopped playing The Last of Us to play D&D yesterday, and I was not shy about reminding everybody who was there that I had stopped playing that's why the disc's here, that I had stopped playing The Last of Us to come to be here. Every time somebody was wasting a bit of time, every time somebody was like, oh, why don't we just take a 5-minute break just to do this? I was like, I could be playing The Last of Us Part 2 right now. None of this fucking about. I don't want a 20-minute conversation about motherfucking Warhammer.
I won't lie, I'm amazed you didn't do Raz from The Big Bang Theory today. My character stabs herself in the heart. I'm done. Bye. See you guys.
See ya. Peace.
My character's dead.
I love playing D&D, but it was one of those moments where it was if the conversation would veer into something else, it would just be guys, my PlayStation controller is right here, and if I pick that up, I'm gone. And I'm not coming back. Like, once you get to a certain, like, the like my favorite part of the game is the opening 2 hours. 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we will save all this for next week when we do our spoilers.
We will save this all. Like, come back in a few days. We're gonna do a spoiler cast. It's gonna be awesome. Because
I look forward to it.
we're good at talking about things. I also finished She-Ra. I can't remember if I mentioned that on a podcast.
Yes, you finally finished She-Ra.
Because we didn't do a post show last week. So I don't know if I've mentioned it on a podcast. But I finally finished She-Ra. It was awesome. It was awesome. And I was like, and I put one of those picture memes up on Twitter. And I was like, which character do you think I am in She-Ra? And everybody was like, Glimmer. And I was like, yeah, all right, I can see that. I was secretly hoping for Scorpia. But I didn't get that. Except this dickhead. He was like, "You're like Catra," and I was like, "You think I'm reckless enough to be okay?" No She-Ra spoilers, but damn, it hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, it hurt a little bit.
Love, and you know that.
I know she's your favorite character, so I was actually flattered, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know how to feel about this.
I will put Scorpia for you.
Thank you.
Just for you.
She's my favorite character.
She's amazing. She is awesome. Awesome character.
I'll take Glemmer.
Fuck it. All of them are character. All are great. But
great. No one reposted it. I got like a bunch of replies off people who watch She-Ra, and like I was looking forward to people like retweeting it and stuff so I could answer for them, because I was like moody, like which character, like do you want me to tell you which character I think you are? You most embodies you from She-Ra?
I might not be doing that right now. Who knows?
Who knows? Because I'll just tell you live on this podcast.
All right, who am I? Go on.
No. I mean, if you're retweeting it, I'll reply to the tweet, and then see your reaction, and then everybody can see your reaction. Because if anyone's here for the post-show discussion of the Words About Gamescast, they don't give a shit if we just stop the podcast to do this. I remember one of the very early episodes of the podcast. We talked about ukulele when it went to Kickstarter, and at the end of the podcast, literally, everything stopped, right? And we were talking, like, there was still a discussion going, but we just stopped talking about anything productive while myself and Russell, live on the podcast, both backed ukulele on Kickstarter.
I like that. That's awesome. I have to respect that.
Yeah, it's like, we do shit like that's a Words About Games cast. That's just like, I don't know, like a staple. Like, that's just like a part of the Words About Games cast. It's a feature, not a bug. But I wish Mooney could type faster. That's all I'm saying.
So typing faster, it's finding the bugger. There it is. Oh, sorry. There, favorited and retweeted. I won't lie, I didn't realize I did not do that. There you go, Amy.
Okay, I'm gonna reply to it now.
Who am I?
Well, you've only retweeted it, so I'll be replying to myself. But I'll reply to you specifically.
There. I've added something now. There you go, Amy. Just for you.
Okay.
Who am I?
Because I thought of this one. Yours was the easiest one. Like, if Keith had replied, I would have been like, uh-oh.
Which is the one
I don't know.
Do anything.
What do you think? What do you think, Rennie? Keith, what do you think for Keith? Which She-Ra character do you think Keith would be? I was thinking, and I can't pronounce her name very well. Natosa? Might be the answer to that.
I think
Here's yours.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, he would be really tough. He would be really tough.
See, Moody?
I think
I'm good at this. But yeah, Keith would be But
the thing is, I know you more than I know Keith. So that's the thing about it. I mean, I get on well with Keith and everything like that, but we aren't as close to what you and me are.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Have you seen yours?
No, I haven't yet. I know. I think I know who he is. I think he's the villain. I can't remember his name.
Hordak?
Hordak.
Wow. Fair enough.
What's your put for me? I'm curious about this. This is going to be fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. What has Amy said? Who am I? Respect it.
Put a lot of thought in that one.
Love it.
It was Bo, by the way, for anybody who doesn't go on the Twitter thing. I put Bo. Yeah.
Bo.
Amazing GIF as well.
I like Bo. Bo is awesome.
If that all right. So if I'm Glimmer, as voted for by consensus, and you're Bo, is Keith anything like Adora, and then we're just the best friend squad?
Or is he Katra?
He's definitely not Katra.
If he becomes part of the best. Should I say anything there? I was just about to say that. I was about to spoil She-Ra there.
I really hope you're all caught up on She-Ra. I'm gonna beep that part out.
Yeah.
We should probably stop there. But I think I can see him being Adora, just purely for the fact that he's like the DM, he's like the leader. He carries us at Apex more than we probably want to admit.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'd say we're the best friend squad then, in that case. The three of us.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah,
boom.
Why not?
And that's how we're going to end the Words About Gamescast.
End, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. That's how we're going to end, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe one day the best friend squad will come together on this podcast. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. It's all about Adora.
Maybe I'll turn about. Maybe I'll just. You know what? Maybe one day I'll turn this 2-person podcast into a 3-person podcast.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? And I'm blinding myself now because of the dark.
To be fair, Keith has replied. Keith has replied. Oh man, I want to do this all now. Like, if he sees this immediately, maybe we can get his reply to what I'm about to show him.
Rudy thinks you're hard.
No, I'm gonna send him. Actually, hold on. Let me just tweet this out. Why is this podcast 2 hours long? They said it was a slow news week, and we've literally spent 20 minutes tweeting each other about things. Hang on, I've got this reply. Actually, we are recording the Words About Gamescast live. Words About Gamescast live right this very second, while discussing this topic in our post-show discussion. Here's where we have landed. And then there's just a gif of Adora. This is literally happening on the podcast, on Twitter. If you go to twitter.com/Roblox, you'll be able to see the exact time we were recording this podcast.
Definitely. Do you want me to sign us off here, me?
Yeah, play us out, Moody. If Keith replies by the time you get to the end, I'll enlighten everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Words About Games podcast this week. I hope you've had a great time listening to us banter about a lot of things. We've had some great news today, obviously. Interesting news with the possible Warner Brothers Interactive, the itch.io, the millions they've raised for charities and everything. Amazing conversations. And we talked about Last of Us, and I almost spoiled She-Ra, but we all love She-Ra. And have we confirmed the best friend squad on the Words About Games? Who knows about that? Who knows? Thank you very much. Stay awesome. While Amy is tweeting, I'm waiting for his reply.
No, it's fine. What I'll do is I'll just open next week's podcast with it. And I'll be like, this is what Keith said, if I remember. Bye, everybody.
Bye.